Western world, it is exploding, violence flaring, bullets loading. You're old enough to kill, but not for voting. You don't believe in war, but what's that gun you're toting? And even the Jordan River has bodies floating. But you tell me over and over and over again, my friend, you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. Don't you understand what I'm trying to say? Can't you feel the fears I'm feeling today? If the button is pushed, there's no running away. There'll be no one to save with the world in a grave. Take a look around you, boy. It's bound to scare you, boy. And you tell me over and over and over again, my friend, you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. Yeah, my blood's so mad, feels like coagulating. I'm sitting here just contemplating. I can't twist the truth, it knows no regulation. Handful of senators don't pass legislation, and marches alone can't bring integration. When human respect is disintegrating, this whole crazy world is just too frustrating. And you tell me over and over and over again, my friend, you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. Think of all the hate there is in Red China, then take a look around to Selma, Alabama. You may leave here for 4 days in space, but when you return, it's the same old place. The pounding of the drums, the pride and disgrace. You can bury your dead, but don't leave a trace. Hate your next door neighbor, but don't forget to say grace. And tell me over and over and over and over again, my friend, you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. No, you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I was in my
small
kitchen.
Business owners, taxes was more questions than answers.
I was in my kitchen looking for my creamer, disappeared. It's 5 o'clock. I shouldn't be drinking coffee, but I am. Hope you guys are all doing good. See who we have in here today. Daniel Berry, hello. Good to see you. Donna, hello. Hey, Teacher is in the house. Excellent song. Joe Della is here. CG2 is here. Wow, we got a whole table here. I guess everybody's here for The Godfather, for my amazing analysis of The Godfather. I came across a video that says 15 things that you don't know about The Godfather. So I'm going to play it just to torture ALV and Tommy if they show up. Because, of course, they think they know everything about The Godfather, that they had to do a 75-part series for 2.5 years on The Godfather and broke down every scene. 8:06 Eastern time, yes. And, Trump had a press conference today, and it had the CIA director, the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, and a high-level military guy talking about Iran and blah, 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 blah. So we'll probably kind of look at that a little bit. Barry Maguire, Eve of Destruction, relevant now as it was in 1966. Yep. And for some reason, that song is I always have played that song my whole life. I've always liked that song. And yeah, it is very relevant now. I'm home still because I have a cold, but I can be with you all. Nice. Well, not nice that you have a cold, but nice that you're with us. Yeah, it sucks being sick. I got sick once this year, but I just feel like, I don't know, for the last, I don't know how long, month, my energy level has been weird. It's just not normal. I mean, my sleep schedule, of course, is not normal, which that's part of it, but it's always been that way. You know, I've always just adjusted to being able to only sleep like 4 or 5 hours a night. It just lately, I don't know, even today, just no energy whatsoever. But at least with the internet and stuff like that, you can, you know, some people work from home and people that run businesses, there's a lot of things that we can do without leaving the house, fortunately. You know, a lot more that goes into running a business besides dipping the berries, you know. So I was able to, well, for one thing, there's a basketball tournament that I got coming up. So I got situated for that. That's like hopefully going to be my main money this month is the 24th, 25th, and 26th. There's a 3-day basketball tournament in Olympia that I'm going to be doing. Got to order for 4 dozen cupcakes on the 11th, which is Saturday. Man, it is warm today. It got up to like 70, but it feels like 90. I almost thought about turning on my AC today. That's how warm it got. In fact, I might have to tomorrow. Just like that. We had a mild winter here anyway, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was going to be warm. He was in the new Christie Minstrels, 3 Wheels on My Wagon, and all that. Are we talking about Barry Maguire? The new Christie Minstrels. Let me look this up real quick. Yeah. Wow. Since 1962, the new Christie Minstrels have been delighting audiences with their legendary albums and unforgettable live concerts. Interesting. And it shows Randy Sparks, Barry Maguire, Kim Carnes, you know, she's Betty Davis eyes, Kenny Rogers, Gene Clark, and Mike Settle. And there's probably more too. Jerry Yester, Karen Black. Interesting. I never even heard of that. I have to look that up. Way cool. Learn something new every day, right? Cold there where you're at in the 30s. Yikes. It's crazy how different our country is. You know, where my buddy Brian is in Arizona. You know, he'll FaceTime me or send me a video. He works at a desert casino, poker dealer. You just look at him in the video and you can tell it's hot, you know, all squinty eyed and wrinkles on his forehead because, you know, the sun is just, oh God, I could not do Florida or Arizona when it's that hot out. And it's only April. You know, some of these videos you send me, it was over 100 degrees in March in Sun City. That's crazy town. When it's 30 degrees, you know, if it's 30 in April, you were probably in the 20s at some point in March. So that's an 80-degree difference in our country, you know, depending on where you want to live at. It's pretty wild. You know, he's got little rabbits that run around all over the backyard. He's got a cat now that tries to attack does attack him, actually. He got a cat that has been wandering the neighborhood for 2 years. You got coyotes, half of them got mange, and you got wild rabbits everywhere. And you got big birds like eagles and hawks that eat the rabbits. So you have a cat that's been outside surviving on its own for 2 years. Gee, I wonder what it eats. And now my buddy Brian, he loves cats. He took this cat in, and the cat loves it there, but he likes to go outside and get rabbits. And Brian gets all mad. I'm like, dude, that's what he fucking likes to do. That's what he does. That's how do you think he survived for 2 years? You know, he had to eat somehow. It was 70 on Saturday here. Our weather is bipolar. Yeah. Oh, damn. Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, we get like that too, I guess, once in a while. I don't like that. And I'm sure you don't either. You know, who would like that? You know what I mean? Pick a color, any color, please. You know, just make up your mind already. Do you want to be warm or do you want to be cold? We don't need the warm cold. That's how people get sick, which is probably why you have a cold. Right, CG2? You know, the delta, I think is what they call it. The temper differential, the delta. Joe's out of here. It's late and past my bedtime. I need my beauty sleep. Yes. Good to see you all again. All right, Joe. Have a good one. You know, he's the one that brought up that band. And then I seen Kenny Rogers in there, which reminded me of, I just want to watch a little bit of this. You know, he passed away in 2020. I seen Miley Cyrus and the one dude, Jimmy Fallon, recreate this one, which they actually did a pretty good job. But I want to listen to the a little bit of the original one. I'm probably not sharing the screen yet. That's okay.
Yours.
Baby, when I met you, there was peace unknown. I set out to get you with a fine tooth comb. I was soft inside. There was something going on. You do something to me that I can't explain. Hold me closer and I feel no pain. Every beat of my heart, we got something going on. Tender love is blind. It requires a dedication. All this love we feel needs no conversation. We're riding together, making love with each other, Islands in the stream, that is what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong? Sail away with me to another world, and we rely on each other, from one lover to another. I can't live without you if the love was gone. Everything means nothing if you got no one, and you just walk in the night, just slowly losing sight of the real thing. But that won't happen to us, and we got no doubt. Too deep in love and we got no way out, and the message is clear. This could be the year for the real thing. Will you come? Maybe I will hurt you never. We started in as one, in love forever. We can ride it together, making love with each other, Islands in the stream, that is what we are. No one excuse me, Kitty. How can we be wrong? Sail away.
Yeah, me too. Both of those guys were awesome. And Kenny Rogers died in 2017, or excuse me, 2020. And they did, I don't know if it was their final performance, but I'm pretty sure it was, together doing this song. I just want to play a quick little bit of it. I'm sure you guys have seen it.
Tonight is as much about me saying thank you as it is goodbye. It's 60 years of great talent. And now, without the stool.
Okay, you want to do, I can't think of anybody I would rather sail away with.
Let's say.
Okay. And everybody gets to sing on this one. Are you ready for us to do our final
I am ready.
Islands in the Stream?
I am
All
ready.
right, let's go.
Baby, when I met you.
You know, it's just, I think it's just awesome that, you know, those guys performed their entire life. You know, Dolly's still alive. But, you know, as far, I'm sure that there was definitely rumors about them, you know, being together, but I'm pretty sure Dolly was just happily married her, you know, her whole life, right? And, you know, they started that little thing. You know, I don't think they toured heavily together or anything like that. Maybe like once in a while, but started good, ended good. You know, they were, I loved Kenny Rogers. That's one of my favorite shows of all time was Six Pack. I played the beginning of that, and then I'll get on to the, let's see here. I don't know if they actually have a video for it or not. Yeah, here we go.
You only need a small deck.
That's exactly what I needed. With the latest Galaxy from Verizon, you can swipe a whole new look.
Anybody remember this movie?
You can run, you can hide, never let it inside. Keep living your life in the dark. Sooner or later, that gentle persuader is gonna catch up with your heart, make you a dreamer, believer.
Seen it, Hey Teacher? It's about those little kids that were stealing parts from cars and stuff. He's a race car driver.
Life will deliver a shot that will shiver him, driving him down to his knees, make him start giving, living.
Anthony Michael Hall.
Well, it's your mind that tricks you into leaving every
Diane
time.
Lane, was that who played the wife in Silver Spoons, or the girlfriend?
Turn you around. Well, it's your heart that talks you into staying where you are. Love will turn you around.
I told you guys I'm stuck in the 80s and I'm never leaving. This is why. Shit like this. I mean, who watches this?
Love will turn you around. Turn you around.
I used to watch that movie religiously because we had HBO, and man, I loved HBO when I was a kid. All my friends would come over and watch it because not everybody had it. You know, you got all the cool stuff. There was they had all kinds of kid shows. Fraggle Rock, when that came out, was on HBO. There was all kinds of cool stuff on HBO back then. The boxing, HBO boxing. Music and movies were wholesome. Yes, they were. Yeah, Diane Lane. Let me look her up, make sure, because I'm pretty sure that's who that was. No. Is that even her? Yeah. No, I'm thinking of somebody else. Anyway, enough of memory lane. Speaking of lane. No, she wasn't on Silver Spoons. I can't remember who that was. Yeah, HBO too. Yeah, HBO was awesome. HBO was the bomb. I was just watching how they did. Let me see. Yeah, let's see here. I don't even know if this is it, but I think so. I seen this little video on how the miniature set. You guys got to check it out. Huh? Yep, that's why I bookmarked these videos. Oh well, it's way cool. It would it would be worth me searching it, but I can't find it. It was like how they scroll through the neighborhood and then it turns night with the street lights. It was just a little miniature set, and how they did it was way cool. And then how it spun the HBO sign. That was actually like an actual thing, a device that turned, but it was pretty cool. Anyway, let's see here. I'm surprised I didn't bookmark that. This clown gets out of jail, which I mean, I know none of us are fans of Tekashi 6ix9ine, or we don't even really care about any of that kind of garbage. We're too old for all that nonsense. I Show Speed. I don't know if you probably have seen him, in the videos, this athletic black dude down here. And then, of course, Drake, the musician. Well, they let 6ix9ine out of jail the other day. And I kind of feel like maybe they did that just for to distract the young population, because, a lot of people pay attention to what he does just because we're at war and committing war crimes right now and, things like that. Who knows? Anyway, I don't even know why I bookmarked this video. He talks about, you know what? I'm not even going to play it. I'm not even going to play it. I don't think you guys care about that. We'll move on to what Trump is talking about. New York Times reporter asked about I'm not even playing X, am I? Nope. Well, it's a good thing I didn't want to show the 6ix9ine video. I thought I was already on the screen. Okay, so we have a New York Times reporter here who is getting ready to ask Trump about blowing up bridges and stuff like that. Isn't that a war crime? Trump just wants to know where he's from.
Thank you, Mr. President, for the question. Deliberate attacks on civilian infrastructure violate the Geneva Conventions and international law.
Who are you with?
I'm with the New York Times. Zolan from the New York Times. Are you
failing? Are you concerned? Circulation way down at the New York Times.
Are you concerned that your threat to bomb power plants and bridges amount to
no, not at all. No. I hope I don't have to do it. But again, I just said 47 years they've been negotiating with these people. They're great negotiators, and because they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. And if somebody that takes my place someday is weak and ineffective, which possibly that will happen, because we had numerous presidents that were weak, ineffective, and afraid of Iran. We're never going to let Iran have a nuclear weapon. And if you think it's okay for people that are sick of mind, that are tough, smart, and sick, really sick, from a policy standpoint, from a any which way you want to say, mentally, these are disturbed people. If you think I'm going to allow them, and powerful and rich, to have a nuclear weapon, you can tell your friends at the New York Times, not going to happen.
It means violating international law.
Quiet. You no longer have credibility at the New York Times, because the New York Times said, "Oh, Trump won't win the election,"
and there he goes with that. It's a perfect. I mean, they had the term Trump derangement syndrome, where they accused people of, just, I hate Trump for everything he does. But, Trump is the one that's got the derangement syndrome. Talking about blowing up bridges and civilian infrastructure. And, well, they've been at us for 47 years. Well, is there any, when you go to war against another country, it's probably for serious reasons. It's probably for really, really bad reasons. That doesn't justify committing war crimes. I mean, if they blew up the Narrows Bridge here, or the Golden Gate Bridge, or one of our football stadiums, I think that would, more than any type of like transportation hub here in the United States, unless they started like shooting down airplanes, because the thought of that is terrifying. Blowing up, stadiums full of people would really be fucked up, and we wouldn't tolerate that. But, it's basically, he's like, well, I could not watch him this afternoon. So upsetting the spin. Yeah, I know it is. It's very upsetting. It is very upsetting. And we at least we know, we know where we're at with it. He is no longer working from a logical mind. It's all weird. Yeah. And it sucks, because it's just all of us just kind of feel, we feel betrayed. I'm not going to speak for all of us, but I'm just going for myself. But I think generally speaking, a lot of us feel betrayed, or angry. But what's even worse is like, where do we go from here? It's like, what do we do? But just to remind everybody what we were up against, and would it have been any different?
Let's hit on some more foreign policy. Which foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
Well, there are different reasons that we should be thoughtful about each. Most recently, I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. And look, Iran has American blood on their hands, okay? And what we saw in terms of just this attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles, what we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power, that is one of my highest priorities.
So if you have proof that Iran is building a nuclear weapon, would you take military action?
I'm not going to talk about hypotheticals at this moment.
So if you go with the template as I do, where presidents aren't elected, they're selected. It's an auction to the highest bidder. Then it doesn't matter who you vote for. We would have got lied to. You really wouldn't have got lied to from Kamala. You would have gotten what you voted for. But So, Gianni, hello. Gianni Catalano. How are you doing, sir? I'm listening while I drive. I have to pick up son from basketball. Okay. Nice. I'm doing a basketball tournament. I'm not playing in one. I'm going to be selling snow cones and I'm hoping lemonade. I don't know. I didn't ask him yet about the lemonade, but I can definitely do snow cones and all my chocolate and stuff for 3 days, 24th, 25th, and 26th of this month. I'm looking forward to that. Hope you're doing good. Hey, teacher says, yikes again. Well, that, and you know, it just would have been, it would have been the same thing. You know, I would be sitting here completely just, I probably would have had a heart attack or something by now. I would have got so mad. My brain probably just would have blew up right, live on air if Kamala was president. But it just would have been because how angry I would have been at the system. Like I wouldn't be able to, I don't think I would have been able to take it, knowing that it was just rigged. You know what I mean? And then not knowing that we were going to be lied to by Trump as bad as we were. Oh, it just would have been, it wouldn't, there'd just no, I don't think I would be able to take it. As a lot of people, you know? So maybe God works in mysterious ways, you know, as they say. And speaking of God, these guys are just, you know, they're using, this is the level that they're taking it. They're comparing the bombing that they did on Easter Sunday to, you know, like Jesus and the Bible and all that. It's weird. Fucking gross. Mossada, you will do well. Yeah, I think so, Donna. And I appreciate that for the basketball tournament. I think so. These guys own the Little Creek Casino down in Shelton, Olympia area. First time doing business with them. So I'm going to make a good impression. The dude that I'm in communication with is a basketball coach, and haven't actually talked to him, but just texting. Seems like a really cool guy. So I'm excited. I always like doing the things for the kids, you know, the youth, and I always do really well. You make a lot of contacts with the parents, you know. My snow cones are only $5, and I haven't really put too much thought into, other than I'm going to make a ton of cheesecakes. And the strawberries, yes, on the strawberries, it's going to be weather depending, because I have to drive for what I think it's going to be like an hour and a half without traffic one way. So I don't know. We'll see with the strawberries, just depending on if it's not too hot. It should be fine. You know, make a ton of strawberries. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, because it's going to be a bunch of new contacts, which is always awesome. So, did you sell Easter treats? Well, I didn't sell anything yesterday. And I wanted to, but I just wasn't really prepared for, I kind of got behind on April. I ran out of milk chocolate for one thing, which I just ordered this morning. But the spot that I set up at is just, it's a disaster on Sundays because of church. They have church there. And I either can only go between 11 a.m. and 2:30 it's just and especially on Sunday, I already knew it was going to be just, I can't set up there. So I just was and I just had no energy yesterday. And I made good money the rest of the days. But yeah, I didn't really sell. I sold one Easter, like specific Easter item. And it was a chocolate filled Xbox controller. I think I showed you guys. One person bought one of those. So it's weird. The first year that I sold those, I sold, I think, 30 of them. This year I sold one. I didn't really advertise them that well, but I still did good. But yeah, just the last couple of days I don't know, I've just felt weird. So I just take it easy when I feel like that. Sounds like you've been busy. Your treats always look amazing. Thank you, GDM. Yeah. GDM follows me on Facebook. So she sees I'm out there. You know, I try to get out there about 5 days a week. So tomorrow, I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet, because I don't have any. I have white chocolate and dark chocolate. I don't have any milk chocolate. I could go to the store and get some. I just don't know yet. I got to, we're right after Easter. So, it's just, is anybody really going to want anything? I don't know yet. But I'll definitely be back at it Wednesday for sure. So. And I have an event coming up. Oh, yeah, I have another event on the 19th for the country market. So it should be good. And then next month on I think it must be May 2nd. It's either May 2nd or May 9th, the farmer's market starts. So that'll be good. Then Fridays I'll be at the admin building. Saturdays I'll be at the farmer's market. Sundays I can go to my normal spot, and then I have the country market once a month. So it'll be a lot more consistent starting in May. Is Tommy in here? Where's Tommy? There he is. What's up, Tommy? Good to see you, sir. Hope you're doing well. We're just kind of talking politics, but we're doing a little Godfather too. If you guys want to do some, I got a video on the Godfather. Tucker Carlson talks about Trump's Easter tweet.
And so the morning of Easter is a uniquely joyful and peaceful moment. And yet that peace yesterday was shattered. That's not an overstatement. It was shattered for many observant Christians by a statement that the President of the United States put out at 8:03 a.m. Eastern time on Easter morning that said this, and we're going to read it in its entirety, not in outrage or self-righteousness, but honestly in horror. Quote, Tuesday will be power plant day and bridge day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. 3 exclamation points. Open the fucking straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. All caps. Praise be to Allah. President Donald J. Trump. Now, a lot of people reading that.
I just came out of streaming to speak workshop. Our phrase this year is called small and mighty. What do you, that's kind of going over my head. If you want to come up and explain, I would appreciate. We are small and mighty. We have quality. Yes. That's the understatement of that's the statement of the night. We'll take that one so far. Although we got a lot of good statements in here. So who can say no to the Godfather? Me, I'm raising my hand, Gina, but we will play it. But let's talk to Tommy for a minute. Dun, 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 dun. And I'll load up the Godfather while he's coming up.
Tonight.
Why can't I hear you?
There you are.
Oh, I hear you now. Okay, good.
How you doing?
All right, what's going on?
Nada, how you been?
Nothing good. You're doing a little stream, nice and nice.
Yeah. So you were in a meeting?
I was in when I started. Yeah, when I started there was a couple of influencers that influenced me to start this thing about 4 or 5 years ago. And they must have seen that I was able to do it. I have no idea. But anyway, this one lady, Mel, she used to work for StreamYard with Gage and the two founders. What the fuck were their names? Gage and anyway, the two owners and this woman, and they had representatives that worked for StreamYard that would do streams, and we would go into these streams.
Not the ones they blocked me from. That came later. This was way before that. So I've been with her for a while. She's watched me for a while. And she doesn't come out as much as she used to. StreamYard let all the old staff go when they got bought by this conglomerate. That's why we're paying fucking $177 a month. But that's another story. But yeah, so she's starting off another channel and she's growing it slowly. And she knows that her information and her, what do you call that? Expertise and whatever she could deliver is small at the moment, but she said it's small and mighty. And I said, well, that really is something interesting that you say that, because I'm going to relate that to what we got over here, to what we do over here. We're small and mighty. And I think it's true.
100%.
I really do.
Yeah, it is, because, you know, we have it. Yeah. I mean, we could keep saying it over and over again, but we do have the best group here on YouTube. And if you look on, you know, there are a few other groups out there that kind of do this thing, but not like this, not to the cap, because we have a lot of different, and the quality of people that we have in our group.
Superb. Absolutely superb. And I said it many times, God takes the garbage out. God is taking out the trash. And we have these consistent people. You know, they can't watch all of our shows all the time. You know, can I bring the full crew over here every day to you? They go on with their day, right? Can you know, it's very difficult. It's very difficult.
And exactly. And, you know, and I'm not about that. And you know that. It's like, you know, my show, I just like to get it off my chest, and the people that listen come, and, you know, this show, as far as the growth, it's a dead end. There is no growth. YouTube would never allow it. You can't say the things that I say and grow on YouTube. It's just impossible. So I do it just for the small and mighty. That's what it's for. And as long as they allow me to keep doing that, I'm fine. I'll pay $44 a month to.
Of course.
I don't need to be, you know what I mean? I don't even need to be monetized. I just like to be able to.
You do like to do it.
Yeah.
You do like to do it. Because you know what it is. You would be watching this stuff alone anyway. You would watch it because you're interested in it. So you would definitely still be watching it. And I say the same thing about having coffee in the morning. Where's my other avatar? I say the same thing about having coffee in the morning. I would be having coffee alone, scrolling. So why not just fucking push the button? So anyway, real quick, this lady was minimizing her impact. And I said, Mel, what are you talking about? Do you realize what you have done for people? There was about 15 of us in the chat talking that started with her. And she was kind of minimizing her impact. And then I went over some of my numbers with her, and how it helped me, my thought to speech, and a few other things. And she said, well, you know, if I never would have done this live tonight, I would never heard these comments. And it's very interesting. She said, I learned something tonight, that I made an impact on people that I never thought that I would. So people don't realize the impact that they have on others. And that's it's interesting.
It is very interesting, and that you just nailed it. I mean, that's why this group is the best group on YouTube, because that's it right there. It's not that we just hang out and, hey, what's going on? Did you see my fancy car? You know, I mean, it's not all. It's about caring about everybody, and we get deep. We get deep into people's lives, and, you know, we've seen people in the hospital with their fingers cut off. Well, I wasn't here for that, but you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? All and everything in between, and
babies born. That's
but yes, exactly. Spouses dying, all that stuff. And we really care about it, you know, and you're the captain of all that. You know, I mean, you're the one that has the mental Rolodex of all that stuff. You know, that's why you run the social club. And that's, I always say, and I don't care if those guys get mad or not, I consider you the leader of it. And, you know, the social club is very important. It's the one of a kind on YouTube. I mean, if you look at anybody else, you're not MobTube in at all. But I'm just saying, like, if you look at anybody in that genre, nobody has got that. There's a couple people that try, but if they don't have anything bad to say about people, there's really no content.
Well, you see it when they come up with a real drama-driven show. They get the people in there. When they talk about the giant, and when they talk about the Giants versus the Eagles, they don't get in nobody.
It's like, yeah, exactly. Yep. You know, yes. But over here, you know, we protect everybody. If somebody comes around and, you know, we're right there. It's just how we are. So it is a special thing.
It's the true number. They're not here for drama. They're here for us. And they're here to have a nice, cozy place to come in. Look at them hanging out in your chat right now. They're just enjoying themselves tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep. And even though I might be a raging lunatic.
But that's you. No,
yeah,
but
that
adds to it.
Entertainment purposes. But yeah, you know, we're all very caring, and one thing about our group too is we have very high morals. You know what I mean? Like, I heard somebody say this the other day about the people that, and not to turn this political, but the people, because I kind of just felt he was talking to me, that supported Trump and then kind of that don't really support pretty much everything he's doing now. He goes, those people, it's like they have very high morals and their feelings are hurt. They feel betrayed. And he was going on this list. I was like, man, that's me. You know, it's like, so but that is our group, you know, so yeah, I don't know. I'm just rambling now.
No, it's good. I like it. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's the powerful thing about our group is that we can just ramble. You know, it's like we could just sit here and talk, and it's not like we're under the gun to, you know, there's not like some ulterior motive that you have to come up like, oh, I need to talk. I'll pretend I'm going to say this just so I can get in the part about, you know, I can start talking bad about this person. You know what I mean? We don't do
none of that. There's no bait and switch. There's nothing.
Yeah. We shy away from all.
Yeah, we're good. This is cozy. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I just wanted to come up and share that with you because as soon as I got out of that show, you were on, and I said, "This is perfect." I wanted to tell you guys that.
Right
that's what I heard, and I think what I say, small and mighty. Is that what she said? Small and mighty. Yeah. Small and mighty. Yeah. And it was impactful when she said it.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what we are over here. You know, there's a few people monetized, but you know what it is. It's just it's the quality of the group. There, you know, the thing is if it came down to it, if there's something that somebody needed, our group could make it happen. You know what I mean? Like that's just what it is. So we have really good. Well, if you're going to build.
Hold on, before I lose this thought, and you know I'm ADHD, so I'm going to lose the thought. But reinvention is not a problem. Donna, if you're listening to me, because you're doing a little bit of what is she doing? A little bit of a hysterectomy on her channel, so to speak. But that was one thing that she also mentioned. Reinvention, relaunching. There's nothing wrong with it. Just whatever you feel, go with it. And that's what this lady also said tonight about reinvention, because she's spinning a few wheels, coming up with a few different ideas. So if Donna, if this pertains to you, you know, just fucking just nail it. That's it. Just do it. And just do it. I feel good about it, and that's it.
100%.
Yep. I love it.
Well, if you're going to be around listening in the chat, I'm going to play 15 things you don't know about the Godfather or something like that.
Really?
I'm not going to play all of them, but I will play a few of them to see if you know. So.
Should I stay on? I can stay on a little bit.
Okay, if you want to stay on, sure. Okay.
Absolutely. Oh, God, you're nuts. Oh, boy. He's nuts, guys. Let's see what he's got here.
I had it queued up, but I lost it, so I'm just going to find it again. Should pop right here. We go.
You took Freddie in because the Corleone family bankrolled your casino because the Molinari family on the coast guaranteed his safety. Now we're talking business. Let's talk business.
Yeah, let's talk business, mate. First of all, you're all done. The Corleone family don't even have that kind of muscle anymore. The Godfather is sick, right? You're getting chased out of New York by Bazzini and the other families.
Remember when a movie didn't just entertain you, it rewired how Hollywood worked? Wait, scratch that. Remember when a movie scared the studios, confused the executives, and permanently changed the rules? In 1972, Paramount Pictures released a risky 3-hour crime drama directed by Francis Ford Coppola and starring Marlon Brando, Al Pacino, James Caan, and Diane Keaton. It was based on a pulpy bestseller nobody at the studio really believed in, and it nearly collapsed a dozen times before it ever hit theaters. But somehow, The Godfather survived, and then it became the blueprint. We recently lost Robert Duvall, who earned his first Oscar nomination for his iconic role of Tom Hagen. From The Godfather to Network to The Apostle, we here at Remember When just want to say, thanks for the memories. Well, today we're counting down 15 weird facts about The Godfather, the behind-the-scenes chaos, accidents, and power plays that turned a movie nobody wanted to make into one of the greatest films ever made. And stick around, because near the end, we'll talk about the moment that turned the Oscars into something they'd never been before. Now, before we get there, make sure you like and subscribe, and while you're at it, ring the bell. It really does
I would have
help the
fast
channel.
forwarded if I
Now,
would have known
let me
all
make you
this.
an offer. You're going to refuse. Let's get into it with number 15, the day New Hollywood accidentally created the blockbuster. In 1972, The Godfather did something Hollywood genuinely didn't see coming. It didn't just do well, it broke the idea of what a serious movie could earn. When it premiered, The Godfather pulled in a jaw-dropping $133 million in North America. That was enough to be in conversation with Gone with the Wind. For 3 years, Coppola's dark adult drama was the biggest movie on the planet. No toys, no gimmicks, no happy family, just power, family, and consequences. Then 1975 happened. Steven Spielberg unleashed Jaws and everything changed. The Godfather had spread slowly through prestige theaters on word of mouth. Jaws exploded everywhere at once, inventing the wide release and the summer marketing blitz. The Godfather was something you sat with. Jaws was something you screamed through. By the end of that summer, The Shark had shattered Vito Corleone's record, becoming the first film to cross $100 million in a single theatrical run. Hollywood learned the wrong lesson immediately. Before Jaws, studios hunted for novelists and visionary directors. After Jaws, they hunted for one-sentence ideas that could sell popcorn and toys. And here's the Gen X irony. We grew up watching The Godfather late at night on cable, absorbing its weight and maturity while spending our allowance on the blockbuster spectacle that Jaws made inevitable. One movie proved art could rule the box office. The other satisfactorily made sure it never happened that way again. Number 14, how Marlon Brando literally invented Vito Corleone. By 1971, studios thought Marlon Brando was finished. He was labeled difficult, unreliable, and expensive. Paramount's leadership didn't want him anywhere near the project. They agreed to consider him only after imposing strict conditions on pay and behavior. Brando took that personally. So Francis Ford Coppola quietly snuck a camera into Brando's house for an unofficial screen test. And Brando went full mad scientist. He slicked his hair back with black shoe polish to age himself. He stuffed cotton balls into his cheeks to create that sagging bulldog jawline. He threw on a silk robe, slouched his shoulders, and completely rewired his posture. On grainy 16mm film, Marlon Brando disappeared. When the studio executives finally watched the footage, they didn't even recognize him. According to legend,
Did you know that?
Nope, I don't know. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Who is this old Italian guy? That was the moment Brando won the role. The Cotton
Wow.
Ball won't survive a 4-month shoot. To lock the look in, the production brought in a dentist who created a custom weighted mouthpiece nicknamed the Plumper. It pushed Brando's jowls outward and gave him that heavy, immovable presence. No fat suit, no makeup magic, just dental work and commitment. The original prosthetic still exists today, sitting in a museum like a holy relic of acting history. Then came the voice. Brando didn't want the loud, chest-pounding gangster cliche. Instead, he based Vito Corleone's whispery rasp on real mob boss Frank Costello, whom he'd watched testify on television in the early 50s. Costello spoke softly, forcing everyone else to lean in.
Did not Mr. Irving Sherman introduce you to a man named James McLaughlin, who worked for the telephone company?
Not to my recollection.
Brando realized that true power.
Wow, that's crazy.
His testimony is great too. When he does it, you could see how he mimicked him. Yeah.
I'm not going to play this whole thing, but I do want to play.
That's all right.
You want to hang on?
Play a couple. Yeah, play a couple more. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't shout, and just like that, using shoe polish, cotton balls, and a dentist, Marlon Brando turned Mario Puzo's words into one of cinema's most unforgettable performances. Number 13, That Little Dwarf versus the Studio Suits. In 1971, Al Pacino was a skinny, intense stage actor with exactly one small movie on his resume, The Panic in Needle Park. Paramount executives had zero faith in him. They were openly hostile to the casting. They didn't want a theater guy, they wanted a movie star. The studio pushed for names like Jack Nicholson, Robert Redford, and Warren Beatty, actors with big smiles, big chins, and instant box office credibility. Pacino to them was too small, too quiet, and not marketable. Executives reportedly dismissed him as physically unimposing, with some accounts claiming he was called that little dwarf, as if talent could be measured in inches. And then the dailies started coming in. Pacino's Michael Corleone didn't explode off the screen. He withdrew. He played Michael as a college kid trying to stay clean, a war hero slowly suffocating under family gravity.
And as his career got better and better, he wanted to get out of it. Now, Johnny is my father's godson, and my father went to see this band.
To the executives, that wasn't subtle. It was boring. They kept asking Coppola, when is he going to do something? And during the first few weeks of filming, the studio repeatedly questioned whether Pacino should stay. Coppola knew the clock was ticking, so he made a gamble. He moved up the filming of the Louis restaurant scene, the moment where Michael murders Sollozzo and Captain McCluskey. Coppola knew if Pacino didn't nail it, he'd be gone by the end of the week. That scene had to do everything. Pacino starts nervous, almost swallowed by the room.
All I want is a truce.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
I have to go to the bathroom.
That's crazy.
His eyes dart, the sound of the elevated train roars in his head, and then, without a word, something clicks. When he pulls the trigger, it's calm, precise, and terrifying. The room went quiet.
My God. So that's what made him.
That was the moment the studio finally saw it. The Don.
That's it.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Some of those backstories, right? How it takes a while for it to develop, for them to realize, like, okay, this is the guy.
That's crazy. And it all. So Francis Ford Coppola wanted all these guys that were in here. This was his. That's unbelievable.
Warren Beatty. Yeah. You know, they did that to Pat Morita in the Karate Kid too. They didn't. The director didn't want him, and it took a while for. Yeah.
All right. Hiding inside the guy they dismissed.
You want to play one more? Or are you good?
Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Even then, the pressure never fully disappeared. Pacino later joked that he was so nervous about the role, he actually hoped an ankle injury on set might give him an out. That's how heavy the weight felt. And here's the wild part. While Paramount doubted Pacino, they loved James Caan. Caan had even been considered for Michael early in casting, though Coppola always saw him as Sonny. Still, the studio's preference for Caan made Pacino's position feel even more fragile. Imagine The Godfather without Michael Corleone as we know him. Movie history came this close to taking a very different turn. Number 12, the slap heard round the world. The scene is unforgettable. Johnny Fontaine, the washed-up crooner, is sobbing in Don Corleone's office about a movie role he's lost. He's whining, spiraling, and Vito Corleone has heard enough. Then it happens. The Don stands up, grabs Johnny by the shoulders, and delivers a sharp slap straight across the face.
Godfather, I don't know what to do.
Oh my God.
You can act like a man. What's the matter with you?
Love it.
Is this how you turn down a Hollywood Pinocchio that cries like a woman? What can I do? What can I do?
That moment wasn't written the way it plays on screen. In early script drafts, Vito was meant to reprimand Johnny, but Marlon Brando escalated the physicality, turning a scolding into something sharper and more humiliating. Johnny wasn't just complaining, he was disgracing himself, and Brando believed Vito Corleone wouldn't allow that. Johnny Fontaine was played by Al Martino, a real-life singer with little acting experience. Facing Brando, already nervous and already outmatched, Martino didn't need to act shaken. The imbalance was real. If you watch closely, his reaction isn't theatrical, it's stiff, uncertain, like a man who suddenly realizes he's gone too far. That's when Brando snaps, "Act like a man!" Whether the line was improvised or simply delivered with brutal emphasis, the effect was seismic. Moments later, Vito was calm, stroking a cat, and speaking softly. Now he's pure authority and barely contained menace. The message lands instantly. Vito's kindness is conditional. His discipline is not. Around them, the room holds. Duvall, Castellano. Nobody breaks. The power dynamic has been set. Martino had been thrown into the deep end, and the scene never recovers from that jolt in the best way possible. There's no polish here, no safety net, just discomfort, and that's why it works. Because in the Corleone family, sympathy has limits. Respect does not. Number 11, the stretch.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop there.
That was great. Those were good points, man. Wow.
You didn't know those?
Nah.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll save that. Send you the link if you want that. Well, you know what it's been,
Yeah. All right. Listen, this was great. This was good. Good conversation. This was excellent.
Yep.
I like
Small
it.
and mighty. That's what we are.
All right, guys. I'm going to relax. I'll see you guys in the morning.
Right on. Thanks, Tommy.
All right, my man. See you later. Yep.
All right, there goes Tommy. Yeah, I've never. Well, no, I have seen The Godfather. I have seen it. I just watched it recently, actually, and then I had seen bits and pieces of it throughout the years. And it is a good movie, but it's nothing compared to Goodfellas. I mean, Goodfellas is where it's at, right? So we got to play a Goodfellas scene real quick, and then we'll get back to the news. Whoop. Wrong one.
Box. Motherfucking you fucking piece of shit. Yeah. Come on. If he brought his fucking button that the fake old tough guy. You brought your fucking button, you fake tough guy. You motherfucker. Come on. Fuck, keep that motherfucker here. Keep him here. Come on.
God, I love
Fast. Come on, you fucking feel strong?
I'm sorry. Tommy gets a little loaded. He doesn't mean any disrespect.
You don't mean any disrespect, Henry. Are you nuts? He's just kid a little fucking manners. Hey, Jimmy, what's right is right. You understand what I'm talking about?
All right.
No, I mean, the kid's over here. We're hugging and kissing over here, and 2 minutes later, he's acting like a fucking jerk.
No. You insulted him a little bit. You got a little out of order yourself.
I didn't insult him. I didn't insult him
a little bit.
No, I didn't insult nobody. Give us a drink.
Okay? Come on, let's have some drinks, all right? Drinks in the house. Come on, let me...
Yeah, have the drink with me.
No.
Back him up.
Billy.
This scene is just so wild. It is just it's just, I mean, you cannot beat it. It just, I mean, I feel, that's why I love watching this movie around Christmas time. It's giving me goosebumps, you know. It's like, fucking Tommy DeVito, that character, my God, Joe Pesci fucking nailed it.
No, drinks around the house. Go on. It's on the house.
I fuck kids like
Take
that
care
in
of
the can in the ass. I fucked them. Fucking break up my party.
The other so-called gods of our legends, though gods they were, and as the elders of our time choose to remain blind,
Wait for 6 years.
Yeah.
let us rejoice and
I
let us
did my
sing
fucking
and
time,
dance.
Jimmy. I did my fucking
And ring
time.
the
I
new
kill home, and I want what I gotta get. I got fucking mouths to feed. Understand? Yeah. Get the dog.
got mud tinted my shoes.
What crew's gonna be looking for him? This is fucking bad. What are we gonna do with him? We can't just dump him on the street.
Don't worry. I know a place up safe. I'll never find him. Come on, let's get some more tape.
I don't want to get blood on your floor.
I'll open your trunk.
Pick up a shovel at my mother's house.
Yep. God, I love that movie.
At Frontiers, we've cracked the code.
Let me get out. Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. The Godfather and Goodfellas. The small and mighty crew. Did not appreciate Goodfellas too risky for this kid who grew up in Queens. Yeah, I can understand that. You know, it's up there with my two favorite movies are Goodfellas and Tombstone. Love those two movies. Then from there, you know, there's a whole bunch of them that are way up there. Definitely the Karate Kid's in there. So many good movies from the 80s. 85, 86 had great movies. All right, let me see. Do we have anything else about Trump? Yeah, so not cool to tweet that on Easter morning, Trump. But, I mean, that's just what we're getting. This was him on Easter morning. Another message.
Mr. President, how would it not be a war crime to strike Iran's bridges and power plants?
Because they killed 45,000 people in the last month, more than that. It could be as much as 60. They kill protesters, they're animals. And we have to stop them, and we can't let them have a nuclear weapon. Very simple. They want a nuclear weapon. They've been trying for a long time. I stopped them with the Obama horrible Iran nuclear deal. I stopped them in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, not good. It's openly, you know, it's on video and it's just out there, and he's just admitting it that, you know, they are committing war crimes, blowing up civilian bridges, and, you know, it's not make believe. We would not want that to happen here, and yet they're doing it over there. The Iranians are not animals. You know, I was at Disneyland in 1989. I don't remember exactly where I read it at, but there was somewhere where I read that 1 out of every 6 kids at Beverly Hills High School was Iranian. It's almost 20% because they have that type of money. You know what I mean? Very sophisticated, lots of money, very educated. So Trump's being a dick. Somebody made a comment, the difference between LA and Belleville. Hold on, let me catch up on the chat here. My favorite action movie is Speed with Keanu Reeves. That's a great movie. Speed, and if you want to go Keanu Reeves, I've never seen The Matrix, but which people find just, how could I have never seen The Matrix? I just never have. I don't watch movies. There was like a certain point that I watched movies up to, and then I kind of quit. I will make an exception. I made an exception for Avatar. Point Break. That's my favorite Keanu Reeves movie, Point Break, with what's his name, Patrick Swayze, and I think Nolte, whatever his name is, something Nolte, Nick Nolte. Trump always goes for the shock value. Yep. Is that also with Sandra Bullock? Yes. Yep. You got to go down, Brody. Because that was Patrick Swayze's name in Point Break, Brody. Remember they put on the dead president's masks? And we played that one scene where, we got to play it again. Let's see here. I don't know. No, we don't. Let's see here. Maybe it'll be on here. It is a badass scene. played it the other day. Anyway, we were talking. Somebody said the difference between LA and Belleville. Well, Jake Paul has some advice for people that want to move to LA. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer now because of the homelessness and all that. But take all that away and just make LA beautiful and the dreams of coming to LA to be a movie star. This is what Jake Paul has to say about it.
I've been in dark places as a kid. Like, it's the funny, like, Disney star crash out, bankrupt, money, bad people around you, drugs, alcohol, party, LA, girls. Yeah. And it just like, it's like a fucking cycle out there. So my biggest advice to people is don't fucking live in LA and like go into that ecosystem, because I'm a product of it, but it's not me. I had to heal from it, and like, but it just was going to happen that way. So no matter who goes out there, no matter who they are, it's not their fault, but like they become looped into that system and will end up unhappy and most likely addicted to a bunch of shit. And yeah, it's a sad thing, chasing validation. I met this person at this party. I want to be famous. I met this guy. I took a photo with him. It's just like a fucking dead end.
So, Jackson Brown, that was a great movie. What's up, Slim? Creek Squad's in the house. Mossada, you sound like me in music. At some point in recent years, I kind of stopped listening to new stuff. Yeah, it's got to be good, and that was perfect timing for Slim coming in, because it's got to be good to hit the, I mean, a lot of the new stuff it's just not even, it's not original music. It's just all like AI. I can't stand the AI stuff. We all appreciate the AI music for, personal content. It's cool. You know what I mean? Make songs about us and, our group. But just, what I'm trying to say. Cheryl, hello. The Lake House was my favorite. The Lake House, is that a movie? It sounds familiar. Sounds like a scary movie. Let's see here. The Lake House. 2006 romance fantasy. Love blossoms when a doctor exchanges letters with an architect residing in her former home, only for them to realize they're living 2 years apart. Interesting. The Lake House. Oh, Keanu Reeves. Gotcha. Oh, and that's got Sandra Bullock in it too. So were they together? They were probably like married or something, weren't they? Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure they were. I'm probably a little late to the party with that comment. But Jackson Brown was a great one. Oh, speaking of Jackson Brown, it always reminds me of a song. And Slim, you could add this one to your list if you don't have it already. Let me pull it up real quick. Just going to play a couple seconds of it so I go put some more coffee in my cup. Love this song by the Ozark Mountain Daredevils. Jackie Blue, right? I'll be right back.
Jackie Blue lives her life from inside of her room. Hides a smile when she's wearing a frown. Blue Jackie, you're not so down. You like your life in a freeform style. You'll take an inch, but you love a mile. There never seems to be quite enough floating around to fill your loving cup. Ooh, 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 Jackie Blue. What's a game, girl, if you never lose? Ask a winner and you'll probably find Blue Jackie, they've lost it sometime. Don't try to tell me that you're not aware of what you're doing and that you don't care. You say it's easy, just a natural thing, like playing music but you never sing. Ooh, 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 Jackie Blue, making wishes that never come true, going places where you've never been. Blue Jackie, you're going again.
Love that song. Absolutely love that song. And it always reminds when someone says Jackson Brown, I always think of that song, Jackie Blue. I don't know why. But yeah, it's the Ozark Mountain Daredevils, which is just one of those bands that we don't even really think about, right? My roommate's over there yelling and screaming. I don't know if it's still March Madness. No, it can't be. Maybe it's the NBA. There's got to be some sport. The only thing he gets that worked up about, basketball or football, one of the two. Yeah, what were we talking? Oh yeah, the Ozark. Yeah, awesome song. But yeah, you can add that to your wheel, Slim, to the mystery wheel. What else do we got? So we listened to Jake Paul. Trump is now going to run for the president of Venezuela since he can't run for president here anymore after he's done here.
Of years. Now with Venezuela, and we just so you understand, the people of Venezuela, they say if I ran for president of Venezuela, I'm polling higher than anybody has ever polled in Venezuela. So after I'm finished with this, I can go to Venezuela. I will quickly learn Spanish. It won't take too long. I'm good at language. And I will go to Venezuela. I'm going to run for president. But we're very happy with the president-elect that we have right now, of years. Now with Venezuela.
Yeah, he is polling higher than anybody's ever polled before. I'm polling higher too. I'm polling as the highest podcaster. A lot of people don't know that, but I'm polling higher than Slim, than Tommy, than Candace Owens. In fact, I'm polling higher than anybody's ever polled before. It's the highest poll that mankind has ever created. This poll that I'm polling so high, higher than I could get if I was smoking weed, which I am. I mean, that's how high I'm polling right now. You know what I mean? You guys you won't find those numbers, but trust me. I mean, that's basically what he's telling us. What are you talking about, dude? Seriously. And at this point, does anybody really want you to be the president of Venezuela? You know, you'd have to force your way in there. No one's going to vote for you for nothing. It is embarrassing, right? CG2. I mean, seriously, it's like, it might as well just be, let's just talk out our ass. Oh, did you guys hear that? You guys don't know this, but I have some gold, a whole bunch of gold buried in my backyard. I just don't tell nobody about it. It's worth $3 million. And I have an orange Lamborghini and $500,000 next door. That's an inside joke for Tommy. You know what I mean? It's like, why don't we just start making shit up all the time? That's kind of what it is. You know, it just at this point, someone is pulling a Jedi mind trick on. Yeah. Very good. Whatever that is, that's a good one. Yeah. And it's true. You know, he he is being surrounded by people that are lying to him big time. And he's just delusional. These are not the droids you're looking for. Yeah. Now, that's a movie that Dawn has definitely seen. You know, she was busy like me watching Star Wars and not The Godfather. Although it came out a few years later. Love Star Wars, the original one. You know, before Disney took over. GDM, have a great night. Thanks for another interesting chat. I'm glad you sometimes pop on live when I can join in. Yes, thank you. I'm glad that you sometimes pop on live when I can join in. Yes, thank you. I appreciate you. I agree they don't tell him the truth. They tell him a bunch of nonsense and he believes it. And then he goes on and says this nonsense. It's horrible. How did we get here? Yeah. Yep, exactly. That's the crappy part, you know. It's how did we get here and where do we go from here? You know, that's the frustrating part. You know, if it was just like, okay, we got lied to again, 2 more years, wait it out, and boom, problem solved. But we all know, like, what? This was it. This was the chance. There was a reason why we've been we've had a president of the United States our entire lives. We don't give a shit most of the time. You know what I mean? We're the type we'll vote. It is what it is. This was different. This was gonna bring back America the way that it used to be. We were gonna really concentrate on us, fix America, and we got nothing, nada, nothing. We got absolutely nothing. It's actually the complete opposite. We're not going to drag you guys in any new wars. If I was president, if they wouldn't have rigged the election, and I was president for the last, that's what he was saying. And look at him now. Oh no, 47 years we've been dealing with these guys. We need to bomb the shit out of them. Who cares if we kill civilians? Bomb their bridges. I mean, the guy's a fucking lunatic. It is what it is. Some more Jake Paul on Theo Vaughn calling out Dana White, which, kind of have to agree with Jake Paul a little bit on this.
I have 100 million followers or something like that.
Wow.
And the second biggest promoter is Dana White with like 30. So I'm like 3 times bigger than him.
But Dana's a very smart guy. I mean, he's
not smart enough.
What makes you say that?
Just look at what he's doing. Bro, you don't get John Jones on the White House card. First of all, Justin Gaethje is going to lose to Ilya on the White House card. So you have a Spaniard beating a white American on the patriotic White House card. Like, okay, big mistake, first of all. Second of all, why are you not going to pay John Jones? Have gotten greedy. They forgot their heart as a company. That's the problem. It's dying because the best people in the sport become wrestlers and they just like hold on. Khabib, Cosma, boring. No one wants to watch that. When they're paying fighters like 15% of the revenue, by the way, down to 10%. What is Paramount? Like, who has that? Do you have one?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I might. I probably do. I don't.
Yeah, all facts right there. I know not a lot of you guys probably aren't UFC fans. I'm not even a UFC fan anymore. But I just wanted to play that because it's all just dumb. They should cancel it. They should have canceled it a long time ago. Why would it's just uncalled for at this point. What Trump is saying and all that. Why even put these guys in the position to even have to defend why they're going to be there? There's no, this is the 250th anniversary of America. And, you know, he was going to make this 4th of July some huge celebration. I remember him saying that, you know, the 2026 is 250 years from 1776. And it's all lies. There's nothing. We're just going to just spend everything. And you know what they're doing too is it's replacement migration. You know, they're bringing in what Texas just said. The governor of Texas said, as long as I'm the governor of Texas, the Indian community is welcome here, or something like that. Meaning, you know, they're just bringing in massive amounts of people from India into Texas to work on what? Chip production, you know, AI models, rocketry, missiles, who knows? Meanwhile, a lot of people in this country don't have a pot to piss in. And they don't have any hope. You know, their hope in this country, the young people, you know, this is what they're, you know, they're streaming and trying to get their revenue on YouTube, and they're listening to people like this.
Right now.
Drake.
You think him and Speed? Give me an A-list rapper right now.
Drake.
You think him and Speed making the same amount of money? I'm giving you that. Drake and Speed. Who you think making more money right now?
Drake.
How? Off music?
He just did a tour. I don't know how good his OVO merch is doing.
Nigga, Speed with the fucking Sheik of Saudi Arabia.
So I don't even need to play any more of this video. This is the people that people are looking up to in this country. 6ix9ine, I Show Speed. Not to say he's a bad dude, and Drake. I mean, there's not a lot of hope, as far as I can tell. Oil rigs. So in other words, it's all political. Yeah. Yep. Drill, baby, drill. Oh, but Donna, we have the most oil that anybody's ever had before. We have the best oil. And our oil, this, that, and the other. I heard him say that the other day. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Why are the prices? You know, why are the gas prices going up then? You know, we all know what it is. It's very frustrating. Anyway, let's continue. What else do we got? I don't have a whole lot of videos. Trump's going to be the president of Venezuela. Dana White. Okay, 49 seconds of Pete Hegseth comparing the bombing on Easter morning to a Christian crusade.
Transponder. His first message was simple, and it was powerful. He sent a message: God is good. In that moment of isolation and danger, his faith and fighting spirit shone through. You see, shot down on a Friday, Good Friday, hidden in a cave, a crevice, all of Saturday, and rescued on Sunday. Flown out of Iran as the sun was rising on Easter Sunday. A pilot reborn, all home and accounted for, a nation rejoicing. God is good. Despite incoming fire and unforgiving conditions, our troops brought emergency transponder.
So, I mean, does the level of propaganda that you hear right there, it's on another level of what we're used to. I mean, he's literally trying to compare the rising of, you know, Jesus Christ in 3 days, you know, in the cave, and then it's resurrected or whatever happens, to rescuing a pilot. It's like it's a cult. It's like it's a satanic cult, man. It's like a bad movie, a bad dream.
Who do you think you are? You're tweeting out the F word on Easter morning? You'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. So obviously you're mocking the religion of Iran. Okay. If you seek a religious war, that's a good idea. But by the way, no decent person mocks other people's religions. You may have a problem with the theology. Presumably you do if it's not your religion, and you can explain what that is. But to mock other people's faith is to mock the idea of faith itself. And we should never mock that, because at its core is the acknowledgement that we are not in charge of the universe. We did not build it. We won't be here at the end of it. We can destroy life. We cannot create it because we are not God. The message of all faith at the biggest picture level is the message in our Bible, which is you are not God. And only if you think you are do you talk this way. But it's not just mockery of Islam. And no president should mock Islam. That's not your job. This is not a theocracy. We don't go to war with other theocracies to find out which theocracy is more effective. We are not a theocracy. And God willing, we never will be, because theocracies corrupt the religion. No, this is a mockery not just of Islam. It's a mockery of Christianity. To send out a tweet with the F word on Easter morning promising the murder of civilians and then saying praise be to Allah without explaining any of it, you are mocking me and every other Christian because we're Christians. We can't support that. That is evil. That is an intentional desecration of beauty and truth, which is the definition of evil.
Gotta love Tucker, man. We need people like him. Because, you know, that's what we're all kind of feeling. A lot of that goes over my head, you know, when you read something that Trump puts like that, or when he says to Rob Reiner, good, you know, now you can't hurt no, you know, now you can't piss off other people. You died because you were an asshole, basically. You know, that's just, again, that's on another level of just what we're not used to. I don't, you know, none of us like it. It's disgusting. And I think we all just want it to stop. For some reason, there is a jar of Nutella flying through spacecraft Orion.
Reed Wiseman and Jeremy Hansen will be up first to capture imagery and record audio on the portable computing devices. You hear those referred to as PCDs, while Victor and Christina serve as the support members. Reed Wiseman and Jeremy Hansen will be up first to capture imagery and record audio on the portable computing devices. You hear those referred to as PCDs.
So, you know, I think for most people now that didn't believe that the moon landing was real, they 100% know that it wasn't real now. Because a lot of people, including myself, who were skeptics, we weren't around back then, you know. So most of it is just like you don't get the real feeling of it. I hope you're doing well, Bill C. Good evening to you, sir. But seeing all this footage, I just can't get behind it. I think it's all just fake. You know, my own personal opinion. It's just ridiculous. Why the Nutella?
Reed Wiseman and Jeremy Hansen will be up first to capture imagery and record audio on the portable computing devices. You hear those referred to as...
Now, here's the scary part. Okay, this was Trump earlier today. It's 14-second video.
The entire country can be taken out in one night, and that night might be tomorrow night. Both members of the crew ejected from the aircraft and landed alive. The entire country can be taken out in one night, and that night might be tomorrow night.
And, you know, these are one of those things that kind of would just go over all of our heads. But Alex Jones really kind of zeroed in on that statement today. And he started talking about nuclear. I mean, obviously, that's a statement of, you know, is he threatening to nuke Iran? But he was talking about, Alex Jones was talking about a neutron bomb. is some technology we've had for a long time, but they're, you know, and that's basically a bomb that it doesn't really blow up the infrastructure, doesn't really hurt the infrastructure. It just burns and microwaves everybody's cells. It burns your body from the inside out, basically. Some shit like that. They're going to use something like that, possibly. So, I mean, and, you know, so when Alex Jones says something like that, you know, and he's not saying it's going to happen, but it's on his radar. I always listen to him, you know, like he pissed me off, and he still does, especially about the Candace thing. He laid off that, and he's back to calling balls and strikes for a little while. I don't know why he had to fill the world, what we do and how we do it. Tell the world what we do and how we do it. Don't advertise our rescue plans. Yes, and that was something that Alex Jones was going off on about today too. Bill C was, you know, you're just, you know, basically just underqualified to be talking like that. You know, you should just, in fact, at one point, the army or the general guy told Trump, he goes, I really would rather just keep that secret. He said that on stage today. And Trump's like, yeah, well, okay, well, anyway, it was hundreds. It was hundreds of people. He can't help himself. He can't help himself. Tell. So, Tim Dillon calling balls and strikes. I mean, this is kind of how we all feel right now, a lot of us.
I don't give a fuck about Iran either. Sorry. Throw them out if you don't like them. It has nothing to do with me. And the fact that the idea that I have to give a flying fuck, you should be standing with Iran. Shut the fuck up. Will you shut the fuck up? If they want to throw the bums who run Iran out, throw them the fuck out. But the idea that the United States of America, when people can't afford houses and they can't afford health care, spends all its fucking time talking about the Middle East and fucking Arabs and Jews and religion and the fucking temple and slaughtering the heifer and Iran and Sunnis and Shiites. Get what the fuck is going on? Truly. What the fuck is going on? That we're told, well, is Iran Sunni or Shia? What is happening? Okay? Our own country is being destroyed and it's going down the toilet.
Yep. Well said. Unbelievable. Keep your mouth shut. He's right. Keep it. Yeah. I mean, the whole thing. I don't know if you watched any of that, Bill C. It's really not worth watching other than it's just a complete shit show. You know, Trump he's just such a dick. He's just on repeat constantly. He always turns it into it's the biggest, it's the best we've ever had. My numbers are the best. I'm the best that's ever fucking walked the face of the, you know what I mean? It's just, it always turns into that shit. It's the same old that guy. Love Tim Dillon though. Calls, balls and strikes. Owen Scheuer retweeted this. Dear Americans, Iran does not have the missile range to strike your country. If an attack occurs, it would most likely be carried out by your own government or Israel. Huh. You mean like 9/11? You mean like Charlie Kirk? You mean like JFK? You mean like Martin Luther King? I mean, if it wasn't our own government or Israel, which is, you know, one and the same, it would be the exception to the rule, in my opinion. The dirty motherfuckers that they are anyway. Nani. I'm not sure what that is, CG2. I'm a little slow. Either that or it's a mistype. We listened to Kamala. She's got a bug flying around her. That alone, you don't even have to listen to what she says to be irritated with her. But, I'm not going to lie. There's some things that Trump said that you already know she would be better at. I mean, anybody would. She'd be respectful to people that pass away on both sides of the fence. Make America Great Again. Oh, MAGA. I guess that was just a slogan, not what they really want to do. Yes. That's the part that just irritates us all. America's great. We're the ones that make it great. We just need them to quit, trying to make it ungreat. I just watched like 10 minutes, then shut it off and said, God forbid we lose another jet. This fool just gave them some of our strategies to get them out. Yeah. He thinks it's a game, and nobody except for his choir, he can preach to his little choir, but the public, nobody's buying this. We're all on the same page. I mean, it has nothing to do with being left, right, Democrat, none of that when it comes to killing people. Here's the news article. 3,000 people were killed at a soccer game in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Okay. That's the news article. Is your first thought, okay, hold on a second. Were they Republican or Democrat? Because that's going to make a difference whether I give a shit or not, whether they were killed. I mean, if those kids, their heads and arms and legs were blown off, I need to know whether they were Republican or Democrat before I care. Nobody thinks like that. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter at a certain level. It's just about humanity. And it makes us all sick. And it's because the leadership of the world is a satanic pedophile death cult. And that's what it is. And this is what they do. Because isn't a lot of this related to just not telling us what's going on with the Epstein files? Trump's gonna, I think that's probably one of his biggest missions in life right now, is to get out of this presidency without having to disclose any more of the Epstein files. So bombs away, right? I heard that conspiracy to gather support for the war, they're going to strike us and say it was them. Well, I hope not, CG2, but it's definitely a possibility. I mean, they already came out and said California was a threat to being bombed or under attack a while ago. The FBI said that like a month ago. We have all those meteors that were flying around, crashing into people's houses all over the globe. They're talking about aliens everywhere. National Terrorist Attack Week is coming up. It's a perfect storm. But I hope not. The pilots go to the highest point. Yeah, what did he tell everybody that for? Yeah, And he'll come out and say, oh, I'm just playing 3D chess. I said that because I want them to think this. It's like, no. I mean, it shouldn't not even be talked about. He's not going to fool us by telling us some, Scott O'Grady story where, he ate bugs in Russia for a week and used a sponge to drink water. And, the brave men and women of the military go in and rescue him. And, we don't want to hear any of that bullshit. There's going to be and already has been so many people that have died in this war, and it's just going to get crazy if it continues. Trump has to be the one to stop it. He's not going to win it. And Alex Jones said, you can nuke Iran all you want. It's not going to do any good. It's not going to stop it. So, anyway, we'll move on. I don't have too many more videos, but we'll see what else we got. Well, you guys probably aren't. Well, this does make sense. This is the UFC, and this speaks to this guy just fought, but he's talking about the White House card coming up in June and the war. And is it really even, you know what I mean? He basically says, I think he does say, fuck the government.
Like you said, the government.
Fuck the government, brother. That's 100%. In every country of the world, you have to realize that, man, all the institutions all over the world are decaying. You know, all institutions, and people don't feel represented by people that are elected, you know. But fuck politics, because this world is from the evil. We saw the Epstein files. Everybody that is high profile is the same. They are all fucking Satanists, my brother. You guys know that. So that's why I say, don't care about government, don't care about politics, care about your salvation. And your salvation is Jesus Christ. So fuck the government.
Like you said, the government.
It's good advice. Suzanne, hello. Good to see you. And we all kind of feel that way, you know, and most of us either have, you know, legit jobs or run little businesses or whatever. We're not fuck the government in the sense that we're not going to, you know, it's like anarchy or anything like that. We just have to keep, you know, calling them out on their bullshit. It's the one thing that with the power of social media, it's one of the positive things that have come out with it. And I think that's why they're trying to control free speech so much, you know, is that, you know, there is the doom scrolling and all that addiction and being online, but at the same time, hold on, my buddy Brian keeps blowing me up on YouTube. I'll get a hold of you in a few. I'm on YouTube. But yeah, you know, again, I just think as far as the UFC goes, I don't even think they should have that card. I'm not saying anybody's going to boycott it or I mean, who gives a shit about that? You know, I just think they should not even have it. It was a great idea. Everybody was excited about it when it was announced, but it was a different time. You know, it was before we knew we were lied to. Now it's like, you know, honestly, like at this point, it would be absolute suicide for somebody like myself to go and publicly support Trump, like on my Facebook. Oh, I'd be toast. You know, for my business, people would literally not buy from me. You know, especially here in Washington State. I already dealt with that from supporting him, and people know I voted for him. Now it's like, you know, and I kept my mouth shut about it, but I'm almost to the point, like if people come up and ask me about it, I'll tell them straight up that I don't like Trump. And I know I was lied to and fuck that guy. That's what I'll tell them. You know, I'm not going to hold back. But I'm just not going to go on Facebook and stir the pot. MTG, you know, she stepped down, but she still has a voice. She could be president or run for vice president.
I want to say, what is happening to the man that I supported, you supported, the man that denounced what happened in Iraq, the man that said no more foreign wars, no more regime change, promised it on the campaign. J.D. Vance promised it. Tulsi Gabbard promised it. All of them promised it. And we're a year in, and we're in another fucking war, and we've got American troops being killed. I think it's time for America to rip the Band-Aid off, and we need to have a serious conversation about what the fuck is happening to this country and who in the hell are these decisions being made for, and who is making these decisions.
Yep, that's the mic drop right there. And again, that's just how we all feel. You know, we're frustrated. We're broke. A lot of us. Everything's so expensive, especially gas right now. And we're not happy. We're not happy at all. So I don't know where we go from here. But, you know, things can definitely get worse. And they definitely could get worse. So we just got to just hope and pray that they don't. You know, this doesn't need to go nuclear, but it very well could. Because how is Trump going to save face? You know, he's not going to capitulate. He's not going to just give in and be like, okay, you know, he has to win somehow. So the only way that's going to happen is him, you know, he thinks that they have to go some type of nuclear weapon. But that's not going to go over well with the public. So he, you know, could you imagine that? I mean, it's the perfect recipe for something to happen here. And J.D. Vance came out recently talking about the nuclear suicide vest. Let's see if we can find that video. So if they were going to come over here and do something,
when I say options, I think it's important the American people know options for what? And it's options to ensure that Iran never has a nuclear weapon. You talk about people who walk into a crowded supermarket and have a vest on, and they blow up the vest and a couple of people get killed, and that's a terrible tragedy. What happens when what's on the vest is not something that can kill a couple of people, but can kill many, many tens of thousands of people? That is the most important American national security objective that exists for any administration at any time, is you don't want the worst people in the world to have a nuclear weapon. That's why the president is doing this. That's why the president cares so much about this particular issue.
And so he doesn't actually say the term there, but they are talking about a mini nuke. And Alex Jones went deep into that. So, you know, they've got a bunch of different weapons and stuff like that. And, you know, it would be very easy for them to do something like that, blow up a supermarket and blame it on whoever. You know what I mean? So hopefully that doesn't happen. But again, you know, I always say this, and this year is perfect recipe for it. National Terrorist Attack Week is coming up between like April 15th and April 20th. The list of things that happen, major events, is just shocking. So time will tell. Anyway, guys, I'm going to head out. It's past my bedtime already. So have a good night. Thanks for hanging out with me. Great show, Tommy. Thanks for coming up on the panel. And talk to you guys later. Suzanne, Hey Teacher, Bill C, CG2, Cheryl, Donna. Anybody else? Slimony was here, GDM. All you guys. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.